There's just a sign-in sheet, if you guys wouldn't mind.
Yeah, here.
Thank you so much. That just was in with the quote, Denny, but it just.
Seen before.
Oh, not bad here.
Springtime in
Yeah. Yeah.
different than springtime in Florida.
Someone was telling me, I always thought it was 6 seasons in Vermont, you know, the regular 4 plus 6 season and mud season. But then they said there are another, you know, you can name as many as, there's winter, and then winter's almost over, and then it's still winter. And then, well, no,
Yeah, it's
to make up as many ones as you
so
want.
true. So true. Here's Kim.
I'm here.
Hi, Kim.
Oh,
She's still there.
No, I'm here. I just hit the video button, you know.
Fine.
we'll call a meeting to order. Turn recording.
No, thank God. Over here.
Recording in progress.
Okay. Any changes to the agenda? Public comment.
Yeah, let's don't please, I need 3 minutes. Remain seated.
Sure.
All right. Here to ask the select board to stop taking action on non-agenda items and just. Open meeting law requires agendas to be posted so that the public can be reasonably informed about what specific topics will be discussed and what actions will be taken at a meeting. The Secretary of State's Guide for Open Meetings says so. The Vermont League of Cities and Towns Guide for the Open Meeting Law says so, and so does the Select Board Handbook. The law allows 1 year for complaints and challenges. The last 6 months will make the point. On October 14th, there was nothing on the agenda about real estate. The Select Board voted at the end of the meeting to enter executive session to discuss a real estate transaction. The Select Board did the exact same thing on October 28th and November 11th. A special meeting was scheduled for a different subject on November 5th, and a discussion of a real estate transaction was added to that agenda, but after the original agenda had been posted. The original purpose of that special meeting was a proposed executive session for an employee performance evaluation. The Select Board came out with a decision to send letters to residents about driveway access. The only subject allowed in the executive session is the one given as the reason for entering it in the first place. Somewhere in all that, the Select Board decided to spend in December $230,000 the town did not have, but did not publicly adopt a resolution to do so until January 27th. By deliberately keeping it off its agendas, the Select Board flew its real estate transaction under the radar until town meeting, when voters were asked to approve a loan to cover money the Select Board had already spent. More recently, on March 10th, under old and new business, a letter was presented confirming to the state that the town of Weston has the financial capacity to cover a grant funding gap of $670,000, even though no one really knows where that money will come from. With only 3 out of 5 members present, the vote on a motion to sign and send that letter was 2 in favor, 1 opposed. According to state statute and the Select Board Handbook, in order for a board to take binding vote or action, there must be concurrence of a majority of the total number of members. With only 2 votes in favor, that motion did not pass, and that letter should not have been sent. Every Select Board member should know that. And shouldn't a discussion and vote involving $670,000 of public funds be an agenda item? Again, from the Select Board Handbook, when a Select Board engages in extensive discussion of issues not included on the agenda or takes binding action on matters not included in the agenda, it does so with the risk that the public trust, if not the law, will be violated. I don't think it's too much to ask for the select board to keep with open meeting law's intent and not further violate the public trust.
I'll answer the voting question first. Years ago, we adopted Robert's rules. And Jim just handed me this sheet here tonight, and we're getting two conflicting reports. We got a state statute and Robert's rules. And Robert's rules plainly state, I didn't bring my iPad with me, but it plainly states that if there's a 5-member board, and 3 show up to the meeting, and 2 vote in favor or against something, and 1's the other way, it carries. That's Robert's rules. And that's what we voted to run under. Now this is presented to me tonight, saying that state statutes. So somewhere along the line, either the state, Robert's rules, or the lawyers have got to figure out what.
I don't know how long that part of the state statute has been in effect, but I would think the state statute would override Robert's rules and that it would be up to the select board to keep up to date with that stuff. But 2 is not a majority of 5, no matter how you cut it. It's not members present, it's total seats on the board. That's what the law says. That's what the League of Cities.
I was operating under Robert's rules.
Well, you shouldn't have been. You should go by state statute, but the League of Cities and Towns says that. The select board handbook says that.
Then why did they ever adopt Robert's rules?
Robert's rules is not a law. Robert's rules is a guide for conducting meetings.
Right.
But it's not a law.
That's where that one came from.
Well, it's not a law.
So in other words, any night we only have 3 show up, we'll just cancel a meeting.
You can have a meeting, but you can't take binding action.
I think we need, I'm so sorry, Rob. My readings are different than that. And it's the same for the Board of Civil Authority. It's based on the number of people. You have to have a quorum, but it's a number of people who actually can make decisions. And I would highly recommend we take that under advisement and talk to council. I think that he's incorrect.
When you say he's incorrect, put she in, me or
Oh, I'm
Ken.
sorry. I believe Mr. Hall is incorrect. And I do believe it needs more research because that also would impact how we handle things at the Board of Civil Authority. And my understanding is based on the number of people who are there and you have a quorum, you can continue to do business with that quorum. And I think we would have to take it to the legal authority and seek further input.
I agree with that.
What if you had a quorum of 3? It's a 5-member board, and 2 of those people decide to fire the highway department.
Well,
Is that a binding decision with just 2 people off a 5-member board?
I don't
Well-
think that we're here to debate hypothetical situations, and I would just respectfully ask that we take this under advisement, and thank you for your time.
Yeah, I agree. Good, I think good points
Thank
and
you for your time,
we'll
but
figure it out.
please stop violating the public trust by taking non-agenda items into executive session and taking action on things that aren't on the agenda. The public has a right to know what's going on in the meetings. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other public comment?
I didn't remember if during your organization meeting, you voted to allow one person to sign off on pay orders and vendor orders if needed. We always do that every year.
I think last year we made a motion that any select board member could sign the pay order.
Does it have to be renewed every year?
I don't think so, but we can do it just for.
Okay, and then I'll
Let's
double,
put it on the agenda for next meeting.
Yeah.
okay, thank you.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Kim.
Shauna did not get a response from the engineer, so we'll bypass that one. Number, I get these damn specs on. I'm not used to.
Welcome to my world.
Not there anymore.
All right. This, annual financial plan for the town highway. I guess there's 2 signature pages.
These are all the numbers that, when we had a meeting with Megan Brunk the other day.
Yeah.
She takes out of our budget. She did send, because Katie and Jim were here, she did send a spreadsheet of how she gets those numbers, and for reference, I think it's in there. But we sign this every year, and again, that's based up, you know, it helps us with our grants. So the second page needs.
She's V-Trans, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Everyone's signature, and so does.
Motion to sign.
I move we sign.
I second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
And you need a new pen.
Number 6 is new standards. For roads and bridges need signatures.
That is the new standards. We still don't have a foreman, so I did just leave it on the schedule. We don't have to sign it till July 1st. We had gone over it at the last meeting. You guys said you wanted a little bit more time and just like
Yeah.
the deadline. So I just put it on there. It's up to you guys.
Well, there's things that have to be, we can't just sign it without, there's things that have to be determined here, right? Like the yes, nos, and this, you guys are comfortable with all this. I certainly am not. There's a lot here.
Okay, well, we got some time. She said July 1st.
July. You want to just table this then?
Yeah.
Okay, I move we table it and
Okay.
we'll come back to it. Yeah.
Number 7 is gonna be the Seckler subdivision. I guess that calls you, Will.
You got a letter from Joe Maxwell.
Yep, so
He
that-
signed off he signed a letter that Merrill wrote indemnifying the town.
Yep.
I just wanna make sure that went through.
We just need to sign that letter as well.
And this was written by Merrill, so I move we sign it.
She
A
wrote
second.
2 versions. She wrote, one for if you get all the abutters to sign off, and another for not getting all the abutters to sign off, and we were sort of jerking Mr. Maxwell around enough that we went with the simpler one.
Any kind of a,
Well, I'm just wondering in long term, if you wanna put in the policy, having the letter that Merrill wrote as part of the policy, or one or the other.
so this is the letter that does not require a butter.
That looks like the.
Yeah,
Town,
the way he described it, that was to me.
yes.
How many butters are involved?
I would have to look at the tax map and.
I mean,
A lot of
roughly,
them
is
are
it
in Andover.
25 or?
No, it's 3 or 4.
3 or 4. And what would prevent us from getting the abutters to sign in? I mean, it just seems to me that these are abutters to the class 4 road, right?
And the other question is, do you wanna do the whole length of the class 4 section or just where they're doing work?
Well, that's up to them, isn't it?
No, I mean.
What's their request?
Their request is to have approval to start working on the road,
Oh, what part of the road? The whole road or just a part of the road?
just part of the road. Their permit only allows them to do what's in the plans, which is to their new private road and just a little drainage pass there.
You said that, there was several Andover landowners on that old section of road. Old
Maybe-
Tavern Road, the upper
Maybe
end.
just one, actually. I would
Yeah,
think.
there's only, till it hits, what would be the further end of Dale Road, I guess they call it Red Top Road over there in Andover. But you're not very far down that road and you're into Weston on both sides. So. What's Andover's take on?
Andover hasn't, they made a settlement with them in 2011, and they haven't acquired anything since.
Do we have exhibit B here?
And then with the abutters, you mean?
Town hereby grants Glen Rock LLC, this is in the 4th paragraph, I think, 3rd paragraph. Second sentence, the right to conduct at its sole cost and expense work to the road. As described in exhibit B here to the work.
That's the plans. I could go upstairs and get the plans.
Well, I'm just wondering what there were, I mean, it sounds to me like this is a one-time limited permission. Right?
To do this work.
To do the specific work.
And
And then when they're done with that work, they're gonna, any other work, they're gonna need to get new permission, right?
Because it's only one part of the road.
Well, that's why I wanna see exhibit B.
You wanna go upstairs, get it?
You think it'll help us? It would
Well,
help me.
The plan calls for bringing from Andover to just past their property, the old class 4 road up to class 3 road standards at their expense.
And I hope there's gonna be a big enough mound so that, water and vehicles do not continue down the old class 4 road.
Talking about water bars?
Yeah.
Well, they've gotta do water bars. They're,
I think
Well,
it's-
wait a minute.
Water bars.
There were water bars there. And somebody went and did some work in the area. And I stopped, told them, put them back in place. I'm not sure they ever did, but if they go in and construct the road, sometimes things get left by the wayside. So unless you put it in writing that there's supposed to be a big water bar there.
yeah, water bar, if you have a, particularly a dirt road or a class 4 road, on a slope, every, I don't know what the number is, but 10 or 15 feet of vertical drop, you have to put you've got, the road has to turn up enough at an angle so that the water gets sluiced off, so you,
So
the
it's not going
water
straight down.
can't go straight down, cause it
Go
goes
into
straight
insides.
down,
Got it.
it's, you know.
I've seen that, I just never heard that.
Right.
Thank you.
And, you know, I just, do they? They want us, well, did you get, you didn't get the drawings?
No, I can get it.
Yeah, that helped me anyway.
And that other page here is that request for,
MSK is the,
$900 for the paperwork.
I don't really know very much about that, so we'll have to ask Willa as well. I didn't understand.
Sounds like we're being asked to absorb this $900 that the company would have to, that would charge in order to get the paperwork together to give to Rock, right? That's my interpretation of it.
What is the immediacy of their, what is the time frame of when they're gonna start work, when they plan to start work? Do we have some time here?
They wanna start clearing. I don't know when they wanna start building the road.
Clearing within the right of way or clearing lots?
Not within the town right away, on their property.
Well, they can do that, right?
They wanted to wait until they had approval to upgrade the road.
Basically, what I think they're gonna do is they're going in there and clear it, but they're gonna chip. I have no idea, but I would assume that they would chip everything they could chip and anything that would make firewood or pulp and logs be saved. And they wanna be able to ship loads as soon as they get it done. Get a pile away.
You can do that on a class 3 road, class 4 road.
No, they just want a commitment from the town that it's gonna happen before they started.
Oh, okay. So they move forward.
I mean, this should have been settled in 2011. A lot of things kept popping up during this process, stuff that wasn't settled in 2011.
Did we send them a letter? You know, basically outlining our concerns. I thought we did, and maybe copied Merrill, would you just? Where is?
We asked Meryl to look at the situation and write these letters for us.
This is Old Tavern Road. And this is, do you know where Nate Eberts lives? Nate Eberts lives right here.
Wait a second. Marsh Hill, this is Old Tavern, you say?
Yes, that's Old Tavern. I guess it turns to Marsh Hill at the Andover line. But it's a continuation of.
So this is north.
No, I'm sorry. Dale Road. That's Dale Road. This is Old Tavern Road.
Which piece are we talking about?
They want to improve from here to here and then do some drainage beyond that.
Old Tavern meets Dale.
Except it may be technically Marshall Road at that
Okay.
point.
And Glen Rock Road does not exist.
No.
And this all, Weston?
That's all Weston, yes, up to there.
And all developments.
Oh, and a Weston.
I think we basically signed off on it if they made an agreement with Andover. And that's what they did, was they made an agreement with Andover. For them to come down through and do work, they're only gonna work on maybe 50, 75 feet of Weston's road there.
There's 100 feet. 100 feet plus a little more for drainage.
So they're not coming on the class 4 road very far.
Well, that's 200 feet, right? 200, 400. So 2,
You're
4,
right. Yeah.
450.
Yeah.
What if we said we approve, we approve them doing the work shown on this drawing,
Exhibit B.
and that approval runs I don't know, some limitations, runs for a year pending, receiving buy-in from the adjoining property owners and I don't know,
Why are we,
or am I getting crazy here?
yeah, I think we're trying to buy in after we've
I
already,
mean, we've already said that you can do the work, but the town of Weston is not responsible for any of it. We're not changing any classifications to our roads. You
Right.
can bring it up to whatever class you want, but we're not responsible.
And they have to maintain it,
They have to
maintain it.
maintain it.
Yeah. And are we worried that,
It's gonna affect anything?
That's what I'm saying, like, what
Is it gonna
objection are we
affect- yeah.
thinking about? What's
yeah,
the-
yeah. I
Is
mean,
it,
the
is it gonna,
abutters.
the stuff they're doing to the class 3 road is all within town, basically town property and the town right of way.
Mhm.
So that doesn't affect adjoining landowners,
I think it should.
so, okay. I guess I'm good.
like, motion sign.
Yeah, motion to sign the document prepared by Merrill for the upgrade of this class 4 piece of the road, an Old Tavern Road for Glen Rock.
I second.
Motion of evidence.
And should that be,
I thought it was really,
should that become part of the class 4 road policy?
what?
The sign off, should that become part of the class 4 road policy?
Meaning what? So that anytime anyone wants to, in the future, do this?
We have a,
Is that what you mean? Well, I'm not
Yeah.
following it, yeah.
Like for the
we
bylaws
have a
being rewritten.
statute regarding class.
That's
doing work
ordinance,
on
I'm sorry,
class
yeah.
4 roads.
Okay.
Or it says policy there.
Okay.
What's the difference between a policy and an ordinance?
Don't ask me.
I think what Will is asking is after they build road, driveway, whatever you wanna call, and they get down the class 4 road of Weston, then take a left out into the development. Is for the, every time they wanna put gravel or do something to that small section of road, whether they gotta come back and talk.
No, I was thinking about the next person who wants to upgrade a class 4 road to a class 3 road. Should we already have Merrill's letter in the policy?
Like attach it to this,
Yeah.
that's a bad idea.
Doesn't that policy basically say that, if I'm remembering it correctly, that adjoining landowners can do maintenance on a class 4 road, but, anybody else needs to get permission. Am I right about that? Should be in the first paragraph if I'm remembering it right.
Don't read it that way.
I think it changed. I think I've seen
I
them.
don't see anything about Bandit Brothers.
There was one that was typed on a typewriter when I started.
And you're being chum like me, ain't you?
This theory is important in this position. In these positions, I should say.
Yeah.
Your point, I think, is that it would help us in the future, right? To, right, to add this as part of that, not this specific one, but this general layout.
I'd keep it in the file because each situation might be a little bit different.
Sure,
I
sure,
keep it
not
for a guide,
not
like,
this specific,
not attach it to that.
but as a guide.
Yeah.
That
it's
makes
kind of
sense,
like-
that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, on Clapboard Road on my property, you know, it's got some real steep banks and every once in a while, the guy who has a property north of me, Rob Jewett, you know, a rock like this will have rolled down in the middle of the road and he gets rid of it.
He takes care of
it. And it never occurred to me that anybody should ask permission about that. I mean,
Right,
just-
right, yeah, no, right. That makes-
So I guess we got a motion on the floor to sign this.
Oh,
Yes.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Alright,
The only other thing is that when the bylaws are rewritten, there might be some need to coordinate that policy with the new bylaw. And also road width. That's a couple years out.
and then, Will, you also have this letter here, this, from, Glen Rock, right? Asked if they could have the details from MSK Engineering, and I think
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry.
that's okay.
should we all sign this or do we just need one signature?
No?
Glen Rock asked,
Yeah, I think we just need one signature. We moved it.
Yeah,
Glen Ross asked for the paperwork that MSK used to do the estimate for the work.
right,
And not Merrill, the Jessica Rizzio from MSK Engineering said it would cost $900 for her to prepare that for Mr. Maxwell. So I assumed
They forget, go.
the town doesn't want to spend $900 to.
No problem.
Okay,
okay. That's the answer.
No,
I read your minds on that one. All right, thank you.
thanks,
Thank you,
Will.
Will.
Thank you, Will.
If we got dealing tax report, we usually get it first part of the month. We don't mention names or anything. Look through it and at the next meeting, if you got
did.
questions,
It's,
we'll address them.
should be under 9.
Yeah, no, it wasn't. I didn't have a copy.
Here, it's a good one.
You can look at this. Okay,
Oh, sorry. Yeah, it's not the same
yeah.
thing.
The 2023 stuff, so
Mhm.
state.
All right, the first meeting.
I'll move approval of the March 10th, 30 meeting.
There's a second.
I wasn't there, so.
I second.
I don't think we can, do this. Jim, mainly because Katie abstained and was out of the room for the meeting.
So Linda would have to be here.
Yeah, we'd have to.
How are we gonna
I think that, you'll have to put a sentence on there that due to she started the project that when there was invited to finish it and
Can we get Linda? She was there. She's no longer on the select board.
that's why I said we invited her to finish the project.
We can, I guess we can do what?
What, you're talking
The
about,
6:30 meeting.
The six
oh, the
thirty,
6:30, not, I'm on the
Yeah,
next
the one
Okay,
page.
I'm sorry, got it.
One page on.
You just table it and then ask Linda to join and then redo it, or how does that work?
We'll table it. We'll have to come up with some language that says that we invited her to participate in finishing out a project. I should do it.
we just need to figure out how we're gonna. I mean. I'm wondering whether. We all voted, including you, to go into
To go into
executive
it, and then I
session.
recused
And
myself,
as soon as we came out of the meeting, you were back.
right?
And we exited executive session and we all moved to adjourn it. I'm wondering whether we can get 3 votes. From you, Denny, me, and Katie, to just accept this.
Or do we have to ask Meryl if we're allowed to?
I don't know.
Yeah,
Why don't we ask the VLCT? And while we're at it, there's a third letter of my last name is an N, got an N in it.
Okay.
Yeah. Liberal.
Well,
Whatever.
All right, so we got the regular select board meeting.
So we say agenda at the top, or does it usually say notes?
that's an accident.
Okay, cool.
I will fix it.
I honestly couldn't remember.
Usually says minutes,
Minutes.
Right.
Yeah, got it.
a copy paste.
Yeah. Saves a lot of time.
everything looks fine. Do we need to make a motion to sign this?
Yeah.
I make a motion to sign the select board meeting notes that to be changed. For March 10th, 2026, 7:30 PM.
Second.
Further discussion? All in favor?
Hi.
Special town meeting.
Kim just did them today. It was with
It
my,
was, yes, it was, yes, it was, yes, it was. I haven't gone through them yet. I did see Kim sent them. These are the ones we had gone
Correct.
We were a while back,
All
right?
the changes and.
I had given my changes on this, yes,
Yeah.
okay.
Yes, and I incorporated everybody's changes. Wayne and I signed it. If you see something glaring, I'm happy to make another change, but it's pretty much there.
I move approval.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Orders.
Things moving along here, I'm gonna move approval of, payroll check warrant report number 6. Aggregating $11,215.83.
There you go.
Good.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I'll move approval of, accounts payable check warrant report number 6 in the amount of $75,743.12.
Second.
Jack of all blades.
I was just reading that.
It's a great name,
Isn't it? It is.
totally.
The New York State Child Support.
One of our guys has child support over there, so she sends a check.
Oh, okay. Got a motion and a second?
Second.
We seconded, yep. Already done.
Favor?
Aye.
Hey, Denny, did you see my note about looking at the shaves bill?
Yeah, I was gonna ask you to, have them check the hours on trucking. That side seems like a lot of hours for the amount of material.
Yeah,
over.
and then if it is correct, do I charge it to trucking winter sand, even though it was like ledge and stone? Because the only other option is trucking general, and that's usually used for like when they're moving equipment.
Put it in the trucking general for right now,
Okay, I'll move it.
but, yeah, I checked the hours,
How much was moved?
about 500 yards, a little more than that.
Okay.
Where did it come from?
The pit down at the town line,
Oh, okay.
Okay.
it's that big pile that's at the town garage now,
Yeah,
most of it, some of it went directly to the roads,
right.
Yeah.
most of it went.
How many more years does that pit have in it?
Well, that's why I have asked for our own stockpile of pink and gravel up there, so if there's an emergency, we got something we can get to, because
Yeah,
I don't know how long that pit has got. And if we have a stockpile of our own gravel, which
Yeah.
I've been talking about for many years, you get a flood, at least you'd be able to get roads passable, then you worry about trucking it in from Lord knows wherever.
Yeah. Makes a lot of sense.
Let's see, what else we got here. All the new business. So. I guess we have a young lady sitting over there, kind of like know what we're doing.
Are you getting your gist?
Just lurking in the corner over here.
Thoughts? What do you think so far? Are you,
I'm
find it
definitely
interesting?
interested, yeah. Yeah, I'm taking it all in and I think it's a good challenge and pretty nice
ah,
overall.
In
Spoke
general.
too soon.
She hasn't seen blood drawn yet.
yeah. It will be at
Come in
some
2
point.
weeks.
Yeah. Also from old business, while I was gone, I saw that the little school had a leak. You guys
Yeah.
were talking about it, is that a big
It's one
deal
of
or?
the things happens every now and then, the ice will build up and like Jim says, it's pretty near impossible to find out where it comes from. 'Cause it
Okay.
can run down beams. It doesn't happen every year.
Okay,
And, you know, if it starts occurring with a frequency, then, you know, you gotta get somebody up there and probably redo the roof. But this is the first time we've had a leak in quite a few years, right?
For me, yep, so I've been here 3, so,
That's quite a few, I think.
yeah. But the people who did the fire, station roof said they would take a look at it for us.
okay,
And she said, if it's not a super problem right now, they'll just do it when they're in the area. They'll give me a few
Sounds
days
like
notice.
it's not a super problem,
Yeah.
right? I mean, it's all melted off and
Correct.
it's,
Yeah.
so it's not ongoing right now? Okay,
No,
got it,
we're
got it,
not.
okay. got
It's
it.
just a wintertime ice melt.
Yeah, yeah.
It was just, we had a couple of days where it was like almost 60 and it just happened so quick and I think there was such a snow load and then
Yeah,
it got so melty.
So that's good news, it's nothing major.
you gave all the, those passive,
Yep, so we
these
had
are
a pass-
insurance forms are. Or is it, I don't even know what passive stands for, but it's,
I don't
we
even,
get insurance for all, you know, the town buildings and stuff through Vermont League of Cities and Towns. Which we refer to affectionately as VLCT. And somebody, you know, an inspector came by and took a look at the little.
we did a
school.
walkthrough of the little school when they were closed for February break. And there was like a couple of things that he pointed out.
There's like a door that was hard to open upstairs.
Yeah, the door,
Switch plate,
there was.
Switch plate, yeah, yeah, I was reading
GFI
that.
outlet near a
Right.
sink.
Yeah.
And I talked to an electrician and they are gonna get me a quote and set up an appointment as soon as they can. Right now, we're looking at April 1st. I just wanna make sure that that's okay with the little school.
So next week.
I have, we appointed Rusty Davis to the DB5er, as our rep. He's been it for many years. We
Right.
just need a signature, Denny, from you, on like their specific form, where I fill out his information. And Rusty has confirmed. I just need that is your letter for Wyndham Regional Rep. If you want to. Great as well. And that's all I have for.
Any applications you have or any for the open positions we all have already, like are they out
Correct.
there?
Yep.
Okay.
The one that you sent to us.
Mhm.
Okay.
Well, let's deal with Pam first here before we get down first.
How do y'all feel? I
We
feel
have a
great.
date on Thursday.
Pam and
so
I are
haven't had
scheduled
time to talk to.
To
Yeah.
meet on Thursday and have coffee, but I'm open to the conversation being had today. It's. I had, you know, we all have spent time.
I had great time, you know. It might make sense for you to just have that lunch,
Okay,
and this meeting is basically over now, but we
Yeah.
could put it on the top of the agenda for next meeting.
actually, that would probably be a good idea to put on the
Probably.
agenda, yeah.
Yeah,
that make
Gives
sense?
him just a little more time.
That's fine.
Run for the hills.
We put it on the first thing for the agenda next week and then
Yeah.
she is,
Or
or 2 weeks.
We
And
can-
Danny, if you wanna grill me one-on-one at all, feel free.
Prepare
Well-
yourself.
I got quite a little ground to cover here. We have one application for road foreman, and I know we have one of the current town workers who's interested in the job. So I was wondering if
Okay.
next Tuesday night, 7 o'clock, if we couldn't schedule interviews.
I'm leaving on the, Vic and I drive out of town on the 30th. Fly down to Key, that's Monday, next week. And fly down to Key West out of LaGuardia.
Yeah.
Good luck with that
Wow.
on the 31st, but I think it'll, they'll have that airplane off the tarmac. And then we're back on the 12th.
Is there any possibility of doing it this week? Too soon.
I don't know what the guy that applied his schedule is, so, all right, let's do it,
Wait, you wanna have, you want me to call him and see when he can come in for an interview, or?
well, let's, Ian and Jim's gonna be gone, so let's do it first. 6:30 on the 14th.
And ask him to be here?
If, yeah, we could. For an interview,
Yeah, either the 13th or the 14th, either one.
although we got a meeting the 14th, so
Yeah,
we
Yeah.
can,
just saying,
and I'll.
for, if he can't do it on the 14th, but could do it on the 13th, that would be okay with me, just saying.
Either day, well, I'm busy Monday night. But so, that's-
Yeah, but it could be during the day too. I mean,
Is an interview a scheduled meeting?
I don't think so.
Like, I don't,
No,
would
it's
it-
not.
If there's more than 3 of us here, it has to be
It
one.
has to be a warned meeting, because
But
it'll
it'll
be
just
quorum.
be two,
So if
you
we
and me,
wanted
So
so,
no, everybody
Oh,
will be
okay.
involved, because you're gonna end up dealing with.
okay. Let's see what, yeah, great.
14th.
Okay, you'll let
I'll
us know.
send him an email and then confirm with everybody.
And that, who are we interviewing on the 14th? This applicant?
And
And both, right?
one of the town. Now, I'll let you know what I've been up to. Spent a lot of money. Well, we never know what mud season's gonna be like. And so I told them to have some material brought up to the town barn. So that if we had a real bad mud season, we'd have stuff to work with, because there's been times when Shaves has run out of material down there. The trucks wait in line while they make it, get a load and go, and, they lose 2-3 hours a day waiting in line. And the material that we had brought up, the other thing I was doing there was, I told the guys, if they're working in the north end of town, need material, take it out of that pile. If they work in the south end of town, they go to Shaves Pit as long as it's available, just to save the truck.
So the stuff that's in Shaves Pit is ours? No.
No.
We have to pay for it every time we take it out.
Right. But the stuff,
But still, it's,
we just paid for the stuff that's up.
so
down
you're
the road.
saving for moving it, understood?
Yeah, but it's saving
That was
time
too
during the
large.
work day, Brian, is
Right.
what I'm driving at.
Right. Both.
So, and I had him put the trucking under hired trucking, and we'll go from there. What we don't use on the roads, we can use to build the driveway over across the road. And I figured it up for 400-foot driveway, it's gonna be 360 yards. That's 20 foot wide, foot and a half. Whether we get to do it this year or not will be determined. Then at the town garage, there's some steel beams that hold the front of the building.
So you guys
Yeah.
discussed that last.
So I've contacted Aaron Bobar, and he is going to build some sort of box around it, put some sort of, I don't think it's cement, it's something else he called,
To reinforce the bottom of them.
to reinforce the bottom of it. And right-hand corner, as you walk in the garage, there's a ton of cold air coming through that. He's gonna fix that. They need a new shop light over the bench, so I've got hold of Ed's Electric. He's supposed to put a new shop light over the bench, and the outlet on the outside of the building where they plugged in the grader and stuff is not working. So it's probably just a bad. But
He's putting a new wire.
Yeah.
Yeah, he'll figure it out.
that's up to him. I was talking to Alman a little bit, and this grant that the state was talking to you guys about. He believes that the bridge on Kyle Road should be replaced first because the I-beams are rotted, so you can see through them.
And one of them is just, doesn't have anything under it.
And he says to use money from the bridge fund for the engineer, then you have the money from the grant to put towards the bridge.
Oh, okay.
And then you can think about the arch culvert on Cider Mill Road. They went up the other day. I've been going down every morning to see what they're thinking they're gonna do.
Didn't see any Jersey barriers, but
They-
no cars are gonna slide off of that.
They just did it yesterday, and I thought they
Oh,
put
okay.
the Jersey barriers in. Just
I
did it
was 2 or 3 days ago that I.
It was
drove up
yesterday.
there. Okay.
Yesterday they did it. The question is, we're due for a paving grant this year. Do we put the paving out with the price of oil the way it is, or do we call Megan down there and say, what do we do?
I'd say call Megan. My guess is the longer we delay it, the more chance
chance
we
we-
have of
Not pay as much.
not have $100
A bigger.
through.
I mean, if they, that would be,
It's me. Sorry.
that would be either the lower half of Chester Mountain or Langville Road. And I don't know if we'd have to bow mag it or not. If we're going to bow mag it, it doesn't make any difference. If it waits another year or not.
Just the bottom part of Land Grove, right?
What's
Yeah.
existing already.
What's existing already, yeah, not doing anymore.
And when the new truck gets here, which is gonna be a year,
That's a
Nearly
year.
a year and a half,
yeah.
right?
right now with all the problems everyone's having, I suggest you just keep the old 6-wheeler for a backup truck. Because if you get 2 of them trucks down at the same time, you're gonna make the world of hurt. Everybody's having trouble with the
Yeah, there was,
engines.
you and I were talking, and I don't know you guys saw this, but there's a lot of consternation on the part of rural car and truck, but a lot of diesel owners who nobody can repair their vehicles, their motors anymore, because it's all, you've got to have a computer to plug it in to get the diagnostic, find out whether it's a sensor or whether, and people who aren't in cities or close to cities, they're, the dealer is 200 miles away or 100 miles away, and they're booked, and so you're basically out of business,
Yeah, because
while
no
you're
matter how
waiting.
much expertise you have, you can't do it yourself.
And these guys are all
Yeah.
used to,
Doing it themselves.
fixing it themselves,
Sure.
and that's, so I gotta say, I like that idea.
So you're saying hold on to the old one, don't trade it in?
Right, I mean, yeah, it'll cost money for insurance, a little bit for upkeep, but in the middle of winter time. If it's, I mean, like the 10-wheeler we got now, they took it down one day and they toggled it up. So they could use it. I think it went right back the next day, come back, then they took it down, they had to repair parts, so that's 3 trips down there. And fortunately, we didn't have a major winter storm, yeah, we can get by with it, but,
am I crazy to think that some other town might have the same problem we have and we could rent them our truck? We ought to just think about how much we would charge a town to use one of our
wait till you
trucks.
get the surplus truck.
Yeah. I'm just planning ahead.
Yeah.
And,
Makes sense.
Our used trucks, our old trucks could be cash cows.
It's very thrifty.
Yeah.
I issued a driveway permit for up on Morgan Hill. It's the Curtis family. And on the permit.
Just the very end there.
Yeah. And right now they go right into the dooryard, take a sharp left up over the hill to the little house that the granddaughter's living in. And before you get to the end of the driveway, there's a break already in the stone wall and it goes down a little bit. They're gonna put a driveway up to the wet area so they aren't going right into the dooryard. I imagine when there's a crowd around, it gets congested there. But I also put on a permit, no work until the signs are taken down on May 15th.
So not exactly a high traffic area.
And then when they went to New Hampshire one day, they picked up a mirror for the right-hand side of the small truck.
What happened?
I'm thinking of all the things that could happen.
It broke.
No, I see the bill.
What?
$829.
I was
Mirror?
there 4 or 5.
The side view mirror?
Yeah. And so I told them this morning, they all got their little phones and iPads. I says, why don't you just search your junkyards and find one and get one that way? Or somebody's gotta have one out there, but that's an outrageous price for a mirror. And the glass is still in it. Plastic is broken. I guess they can't quite adjust it as much as they want, but it's still there and workable.
Still functional.
I just, I'm cheap. I'll basically tell you, I'm cheap.
That's a lot of money.
That is a lot of money.
For a side view mirror, yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
I'll bet Alman Welding International Corp could do that job for
It's a plastic mirror.
oh,
What they are is,
even the long stalks that it's on are plastic.
yeah, what it is they make these fold-in mirrors for towing trailers and stuff, and they don't know what kind of body's going on the truck when they put the mirrors on. And it slides out and somehow the top of it, tree branch or something, got it. And so that's what I told them to do. We'll see what happens.
Is Amin currently assisting, or I remember hearing before I left that he had, did he?
Next
perhaps he
operation
offered something?
is on Thursday. It was supposed to be Monday and they moved it to Thursday.
The next what, operations meeting?
His next operation, he's going in for an operation.
Oh, he's having an operation.
What
I
is
did not know that.
what's
Okay,
he getting done? Is it
I don't know.
okay?
okay,
He'll be out for a week.
okay.
And if need be, Almond said he'd come in and help him. But I don't see any storms in the forecast.
Amin's having surgery.
No,
No,
Nick
Nick.
is.
Nick don't.
Oh, that's what I missed. That's the piece I missed. Okay, got it. Okay.
Yeah, Alman
He's willing to
has
help.
said
That's really
he's
nice.
willing to drive.
Wonderful.
He just doesn't, what he doesn't want to do is supervise.
Yep, okay, got it,
You know, give him a truck
Got it.
and give him a job and he'll do it
got it.
with joy in his heart.
I
And,
completely understand that.
Now, somebody's gonna have to do some research. I've been talking about, we've talked about a chipper and stuff, and they've been talking about a mulching head for the mower up there, and then I getting different feedbacks from different ways. The mulching head, if they're not careful with it, run it into rocks, it's extremely high maintenance. They get a chipper, we've got to find some schools, as far as I'm concerned, to send them to school, let them learn how to run it, even though they'll say it. For our own protection, we've got to,
Chipper training school.
yeah. The state's probably got one someplace, or somebody's got one. They have them for chainsaws and that type of stuff.
How much?
So would it just be like wouldn't it be just like a heavy equipment operator? It's a certain type of, like, but they're like, to learn how to use the chipper, it's like, I've never used a chipper, I don't know, you know, so I'm not a chipper aficionado, chips up wood.
Yeah, chips, and you go.
Okay, right, that's what they had, the movable chipper.
Yeah,
That
but
they
you
had at my
have to
place.
be,
You have to be trained to do it.
well, you have to be careful around them, because if that brush you're feeding is in there,
Yeah,
grabs your clothing,
you're in.
Right.
all of a sudden you're not around anymore.
Okay.
Yep. I'm sure there's some safety.
Anybody seen Fargo?
Yes. Great movie.
And so now I've asked a couple of people if they would be interested in trying to replace Shauna, and I've got negative responses.
Oh, really?
And she's put it out there, I do believe. So we're gonna have to do something there. I told her to get in contact with a temp agency, and
Okay.
I don't know if,
I haven't had any luck finding
No.
any temp agencies I can keep.
I have
not-
one name that I'm looking into, but I haven't had any response yet either, so.
Hi.
Hi.
You got.
Would-
you volunteering?
No, I'm not. I've done it rather enough. So I was going to say my life on the other side of the fence isn't quite so quiet anymore, and I really don't have time to be like filling in for Donna. But can one of you volunteer to spend some time with her to just know how to put up do the agendas and get minutes done or something, so that the baseline can keep.
I can do that.
There you go. Thank you.
I know the town of Peru lost Will, and when they did, and they were looking for a zoning person, they got someone to fill in, and I don't remember who provided that person as a temporary. I feel like it was either Wyndham Regional or one of those organizations.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, Wyndham Region.
That's a really good
He works in
idea.
Arlington, and so he came and helped in Peru for a while, so.
Good
I will
thought.
ask.
And let's see, this Aaron Bobar, I also told him to go ahead and put the new doorway in the front of the town office. And I didn't ask prices, I just told him to do it, because it's hard to get anybody to do that stuff. The only thing I told him was that Will suggested that their door swing out for getting handicapped wheelchairs in. I guess it's hard the way the door comes in now, so.
Yes, that makes sense.
And actually, I think if you change the door, it should be swinging out in state law.
It makes sense. Logical. Yep.
And it just needs to be to have enough clearance so we could put the winter storm door on it, because the existing drop box just doesn't let us put the glass door in for the winter.
Well, you can talk to him when he comes to do it, but as you all know, it's hard to get these small jobs done.
So
No,
when is he?
I'm thrilled.
It's on his list to do at his
Okay.
leisure.
Yeah, and we could we could hang the drop box in front of the pillars or something like that. I mean, if that, That can't be a,
That, or you could make a hole through the wall under the temperature thing there and gauge thing, and
It does
Yeah,
need to be,
there's ways around it.
we'll figure.
okay, but it does need to be weatherproofed and it does need to be securable.
Yeah,
Right, right.
So sure. You guys have seen the thing report from VLCT on the little schools, so
Yeah,
I guess at the moment that's about all I've got.
to adjourn.
any questions?
Have any questions?
Okay,
We're a very disorganized group.
Donna is the only thing that keeps us in line.
Yes. Now we're completely.
Yeah,
Now we're
Up the creek without
It's-
Donna.
Henry.
real sad moment now.
So this is one of the deals where you're going to get almost 3 weeks in between meetings.
How's that?
Well,
Because the calendar, you mean.
Yeah.
Yeah, so. Yeah, because first April's not until next Wednesday.
Got it. So that's why Liveville, as we're now calling it, is leaving for a while, and not missing a meeting. All right, so in between, I'll look up that chipper training school thing, see what we can find on that.
And I asked them to get me some prices. The mulcher and chipper, and so far the only thing I've gotten. Price on the mulcher, which one or two of them are really pushing for. I have to handle the brush, but
What is that, what's the difference between a mulcher and a chipper?
mulcher is on the bottom of the, over the rail mower. And then just
Oh,
set
you
it
just
right
lower
down
down,
and choose it all up.
how do you keep the shrapnel from, does it have a,
That's why Central Vermont has a big sign says 500 feet back when they're using theirs.
Good to just
Power one.
spits it out.
yeah,
Interesting.
Regardless, either one of them is gonna be perfect.
Yeah.
And I did tell them if they had to bring stuff back to the shop and burn it, keep the pile small and burn it out.
Where, I'm sorry, where are they burning it right now?
At the shop.
At the shop. Did you work with Shauna on that stuff? If there's anything, second body that you need, if you wanna do half, or whatever. I am
Thank you.
absolutely available. Reach out.
That's great.
One last thing, we have, liquor control board on April 14th. I think it'll be about 10 minutes at most.
We're having our meeting at 6:30, so that should work good. We'll allow 15 minutes per interview.
Okay.
Run over a few minutes, but I'll take us to after 7.
Okay. And then 7:20 for, liquor control. Bring your snacks.
Okay,
liquor.
you bring your liquor, yeah. As
Bring your
the-
water
I was
bottle.
just thinking liquor control board, I'm thinking about one of the last ones we did was for the bakery. Has the bakery opened? Does anyone know? I know. I
No,
heard
it has
was-
not
I heard
opened
it was
yet.
What
closed.
I've heard, it's,
It's, they're
Imminent.
posting stuff on Instagram.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, okay.
oh my God, yeah.
They're posting
They've
every other.
got some pictures.
They have
that are-
post stuff on Instagram.
yeah.
Okay.
Are we adjourned?
Yeah.
Recording stopped.